Okay, building with Papa. All right, first today what we're going to do is we're going to install this Chamberlain garage door opener. I'm here at a client's house and they had a situation with their existing door opener. Okay, this is an old Craftsman half horse. As you can see, the chain is off. What I found is at the top of this there's a pulley and it just ripped off the top. So the first thing we have to do is we're going to disconnect these pieces and then remove the existing door opener. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first thing I like to do is unbox the new one. Make sure everything is here and before I remove the old one. Okay, now that we've unboxed it, we have everything here. Okay, this part and this are actually stored inside one of the tubes. These two metal pieces are needed. One is the straight bar that comes off the rail. These are the rails. Okay, the belt. And everything is nicely packaged. So now that I know that I have everything, I'm going to get ready to install it. Okay, here are the tools you're going to need. It also shows in the directions that you need a hacksaw, but I believe that's only for a new installation. Just installing or replacing an existing garage door opener, this is all you'll need. Okay, first there's a couple cotter pins you need to remove first. Now take this pin out. That releases this piece. I'm going to put the pin back in here just so I don't lose it. Okay. Now there's another one up here. Okay. Alright, you can remove that pin and let it rest on the spring. Okay. Okay. This one's bolted down to the top. Keep your track tight to the garage door. Unplug your device. Should have done that first. Unplug your device first. Okay. Your device is still hung by the metal. Now bring your track down. Okay. Okay, now I disconnect these wires. These two go to the outside control panel. These four go to the sensors, one left and one right. So the white, straight whites are neutral, the one with the black wire is positive. So we're going to go ahead and remove them. Okay, now this one is the neutral, the white wire, and the red wire is the positive. Alright, so now you have all the wires disconnected. Make sure that they are. So you're not going to have an issue putting it back. Okay. Now go ahead and clip this tie, and then we're going to bring this down. Okay, so you need to be a little careful here. And there's a nut and bolt holding these on. Leave the bolt in, take the nut off. This way it holds it up for you. Same thing on this side. Okay, make sure you have both nut bolts holding it on. Okay, hold underneath, pull them off, and the whole unit comes right out. Okay, when you want to make sure that your springs are operating properly, I know these aren't sprung, but that one seems very tight and this one seems very loose. Okay, now how you want to check it, either before you're putting in the new garage door opener or whatever, this is what you need to check to make sure the springs are set properly. Okay, you lift the door halfway up and it should stay there. If it goes down, it needs to be tightened. If it goes up, it needs to be loosened. So let's test it. Okay, that's halfway up. Okay. So it's very obvious that the springs are not tight enough. So I'm going to tighten these springs before I do anything else. First thing I do is I put a pair of vice grips on the bar. Okay, get my rod and then loosen this. There's two of them. Okay, now you can let the rod rest right there. Now, what we're going to do is I'm only going to turn it 3 times, then check it. Not 3 full turns, 3 times of changing of the rod. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Let's go ahead and tighten her up. Okay. Now it's nice and secure. Take this off. And then we're going to test the door. Okay, let's check it now. And there you go. Okay. Now the door staying up should be able to go up halfway, and then you know your tension on your springs is correct, and you're not going to overwork your garage door opener. Okay, so that's how it should sit. Now that we know the spring tension is correct, okay, and now I'm going to install the door opener. All right, let's get to it. Okay, now I put the device here. Leave the packing on this for now. You have two nuts here, or bolts, that you're going to have to take off. The track's going to attach to. Take your tracks apart. This is for your straight edge, and if you installing new, these are your brackets that you attach to the ceiling to your motor. Now, I'm hoping to reuse the existing ones, but if I don't, I have these. And this is the straight bar. I'll have to change the one that's there to so with this attached to the trolley. Okay, so you start with this one. Okay, this one has where your pulley goes in. So you start with this one. And then they're all the same after that. Keep all your things in the right place. Okay. Now it has these top holes, so I'm keeping them all on the same side. You can see them right there. That little hole. They're all on this one side. Okay. And we have the whole assembly attached. This is the bracket that goes here. Make sure you put some cardboard or something underneath so you don't scratch this. Okay. Now get your trolley. You need to have this down. This is what's going to ride on the track. So you put this in. And then we go ahead and we attach this. All the way on. Okay. Now we have this whole thing assembled, except for the pulley. Okay. The tape is to help keep a little bit of a grease that's in here. Comes from the factory. Make sure you leave it in there. Find the nut that goes on the pin. Okay, before we put the pulley and the belt on, I'm going to take this bolt, protection bolt, goes through here with the nut. Okay, now get your belt. The tape off. Okay, now this end's going to hook onto that trolley. Okay, you have the hole it has to go through, put that in. Then you put your pulley in. Then you drop this pin in, down from the top. Lock washer on the bottom. It's the biggest lock washer in the bag. Tighten it up. Make sure your pulley's moving freely. Okay. And now bring your belt all the way to the trolley. This hook hooks into that tab, go down and turn. Make sure it's not twisted. Put something in this hole to keep the trolley from going past there. Alright, go ahead and take this plastic off. Keep it tight. Okay. Okay, now get this out of the package. This is the nut with the spring on it, and it has a hole. And then you have this clip that holds the belt to this piece. Okay, it's 3 pieces. It's like the piece that goes on a chain when you're putting a chain together. This goes on, and then the clip holds it all together. Okay, now you're going to get this piece, unscrew it. Okay, put that aside. Now you get your link, your belt. Okay, and now you're going to put this, make sure your ridges are towards the thing. Put this in. Put the clip on. It actually acts like a washer, and then the clip, the actual clip. Okay, I put it over the first one and then slide it all the way on. Okay, once it snaps into place, now you have this. There's a piece here with a hole in it. Okay, get that belt nice and tight. You want these to be towards the rail, and there's a flat side to this bolt. Have it facing you. Okay, the belt's nice and tight. Now slide the rod in. All right, slide the rod in. Then start to screw this on. Don't tighten up all the way until you get that belt tight. Make sure you put this end with the silver part towards that, the nut part the other way, that you're going to be able to tighten it. Okay, if your belt's not tight, loosen that up all the way to the very end. Okay, turn this till you have it finger tight. Okay, finger tight. Okay, now that you have it finger tight, take a flathead screwdriver, and there's a ring, the silver ring. That's right in here. You want to get your screwdriver in there. Against the trolley. Okay, now that you heard that pop, that's the string pulling and give you tension. If you need to have more tension, then you can adjust it. Okay, I think that's good enough for right now. We can adjust it later when we get up there. Take this back out now. Then we're going to put the mount up and then start to install this. Okay, now you put this cap on. Goes on, there's 3 screws. Okay, this came with the kit. That would be this piece. And they're the same size, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to just take this bar off and use the one that came with it. Okay. Okay. This is the old one. This is the new one. You can see it's much more narrow. Okay, than this one. So we'll get rid of that one. Has an arrow, tells you which way is up. Okay, so it has an arrow for up. Well, these two don't wind up on the same holes, which is okay. And we'll just make new holes. Okay, all right, now we're going to mount the closer. Make sure you have the right size pin. Okay, that's it. All right, now I put the other end on top of the box it came with, so I can slide it. Okay, it's in. You may have to put it on the ladder, small ladder or whatever. This seems to work for me, just using the box. Go ahead and get the clip in. Okay, now we're ready to lift the motor. Okay, now lift your motor. Get your box out of the way. Okay, get your motor positioned on top of your ladder. Now you're ready to start. Okay, we're going to have to see how we can mount this. Okay, now I just put the nuts on a little, just hand tight, not very far, just so I can see whether this door is going to be okay. Okay. All right, it needs to go up a little bit higher. To cut them down, these supports are a little long. I'm going to have to cut them down. So I'm going to cut them and remount it. It needs to be about another inch, inch and a half higher. What I did there is I raised the door, and the top of the door is hitting the bottom of the rail. It's just barely touching it, but it should be an inch and a half higher. The rail should be an inch and a half higher than the top of the door. Okay, I had to cut new brackets. The other ones were too long. I could have probably just cut them, but they're twisted, so I'm just going to use the new ones. Okay, everything is just finger tight at this point. Now I'm going to check the garage door once again to make sure it's at the right elevation. I think this is going to work. If it does, I'll get everything tightened up. Okay, great. We're about an inch and a half above the door. Okay, it's about an inch and a half above the door. That's where you want it to be. Okay, now I'm going to get all these all tightened up. Then we'll finish putting it together. Perfect spot. Okay? All right. Now we're going to hook this cord up. Put it through the hole. The knot is already here at the end. Just make another knot in here. Okay, long enough to be able to grab from the ground. Okay. Now that, we're going to run this all the way down to the end. Okay, now you're going to have this bracket. It's going to have the multiple holes and the single hole. This single hole is going to go up to the top, to this edge. And you see it has this groove. Have that facing away from where you're going to attach it on this arm. So this top connection is just going to be a pin. Goes right in the middle. The pin goes through. And you attach it with the ring they give you. Okay, now the arm will go up and you'll attach 2 bolts with nuts to the arm. Tighten them up all the way, and that's it. Now we're going to take the existing controller off the wall and install the new one. Okay, we removed the existing controller. The box is here. You have a red and a white wire. Okay, you have your new controller. And on the back, R for red, W for white. Now you'll see where it has a hole for a screw, top and bottom. Okay. Same, you lift this cover, that's where the top screw will go. So first attach the wires and then put the bottom screw in before you do the top. Okay, you connect the red wire to R, the white wire to W. I put the screw in the bottom box. Now you put all the wire into the box. And then slip the screw in the hole and you push it down, that holds it, and then you lift the top and put the screw in here and screw it off. Okay, got that in. Okay, now let's wire everything up to the motor. Okay, now you hook your controller, red wire here, white wire there, then your sensors, white here, and then these have white with a black stripe. You would connect them there. All right, let me connect these and I'll show you. Okay, when you're connecting these, you'll see this little orange tab. Push it in and then put your wire in and release it, and then it holds nicely. Okay, red with red, white, red with red, white with white. Your solid white wire in the white. Then this has a white wire with a black line. They'll go into this one. Okay, so now check, make sure they're all in good. Zip tie all your wires, and now you're ready to plug it in. Okay, your lights come on. All right, now we have to program everything. Okay, install your new sensors. I use the existing mounts. They should be okay. And I just wired in the new sensors. One on each side. that's it.